Hey guys, this is the WalterFootball.com After Dark show for May 29, 2025. We're going to do another NFL best ball draft and talk about some other topics as well. I have a new show for all of you and Kenny to watch, which I'll discuss as we draft, and we'll talk about all the picks and stuff. So and anything you guys want to talk about. So drop a comment. It doesn't have to be about football. We'll discuss everything. So please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video, visit the link in the description for the merch store. I'm wearing Kenny's favorite shirt from the merch store. It is the money laundering shirt. I get great reactions from it. No matter what person it is, they're either confused or like, money laundering, what's that? As you can see, the captainfake.com. That's our co-host website. But yeah, we have it's either the confusion or someone be like, wow, that's the coolest shirt ever. So you can get that sort of reaction here in the merch store. 10% off right now. We have a bunch of shirts you can see. Here's the money laundering shirt, $16. We have mugs. We have our famous apron. So if you guys buy anything here, we'll really appreciate it. You can go to Amazon, buy my books. The most recent one is Jerks to College Years, where I made fun of people I saw at Penn State over my 6-year span there. Also, please consider super chats, super stickers. That's the best way to support the show. Last week we had John Sanders and Slew helping us out a lot. Before that, we had Degeneron, Can't Make an Eagle, The Boss, Karmic, Armac, Evan, Daniel. You guys have been so great with your contributions. Can't say it enough. Like, really appreciate it, because these YouTube ads pay nothing. Kenny and I had like a 2-hour discussion after last week's show talking about how bad YouTube ads are. So yeah, it really, I'm not joking. It really helps us out. So we are joined by Kenny, thecapIsFake.com. Kenny, how's it going?
First of all, YouTube ads do suck. Second of all, I hadn't worn that money laundering shirt in a while, and I realized with recent news and events related to the former president, I'm realizing now I don't know that Biden was as much of a money launderer as much of he was just sort of obviously he wasn't mentally capacitated, wasn't mentally fully there, so someone was using him to. So I don't know who the true launderer is, but maybe one day it'll be found out. Anyway, besides that, I'm exhausted, but I'm ready for some best ball.
Yeah, I can't wait. I just signed into a league, so hopefully this fills quickly. I mean, Biden, we know that Biden wasn't there. I mean, ahead of the 2020 election, like he was saying nonsense like True Anana Shabbat Pressure and Batacaf Care and Next Now Wrestling. Like he was saying this sort of stuff. He forgot the word God in one of his speeches. He's like the man of the thing. Like he just like was saying that. Obviously, we saw him in the debate. Because we had a post debate show on here, which actually was like our third most watched episode ever. Everyone was just like laughing at how bad Biden was. But no, I mean, yeah, there were a lot of people around that. But I think when Biden was like more lucid, he got his son a position in Burisma. The Ukrainian company there, where he was making like $50,000 a month or something. It's like crackhead son was on the board of directors. For some reason, it's that sort of thing where when you have power, you put people in positions and they can make money for you. And we even saw the emails with like 10% for the big guy, and as we know, Biden was the big guy, so they were just cutting. I feel like Biden deserved more than 10% for orchestrating all of this, like when he was not when he didn't have Alzheimer's. So that was a cool way to kick off the show. But can we get Nancy Pelosi to sign the shirt? That would be awesome. Like Nancy, please. Yeah, sharp as attack. Everyone was saying Biden was the sharp attack. You remember that? Like after that debate, like everyone on like the MSN shows, like, oh, he was sharp as attack. It's like, come on, like you can't possibly believe that. Like even like the most ardent supporters, like this guy's gone. I get a crown. What does that mean? XP for me. I don't know what that means. So Papa Smurf said it tailed Correa in the Moonshot DK promo. It tailed Newt Bar. Nice. Yeah, we hit some home run bets. Unfortunately, not today. We went 0 for 2 today, but we can't win every day. I mean, we're taking guys who should be like 3-1 or 4-1 at like 5-1 or 6-1. So you're gonna hit like once every 3 days, hopefully, or like once every 3 picks or once every 4 picks. So it just didn't work out today, but hopefully get some winners. We did have Oklahoma City -8 tonight, which is bittersweet because they covered super easily. But on the other hand, our 60-1 Timberwolves finals bet is gone kaput. So it's unfortunate. Let's see here. You guys can't see the purple tags by names. Do you see it? I don't see what that means. Only one without a crown. I don't know what that means. I don't know. I'm not seeing any crown. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Do you see crowns, Kenny? I'm thoroughly
I don't know.
confused.
I don't know what they're talking about. I don't even know where to look. What you're talking about?
Yeah, I don't. I'm completely lost. So yeah, you guys want to explain? That'd be great. I just don't know. Let's see here. Where are we picking? There's we're 11. Okay, we're pick 11. So all right. So we have 40 seconds to begin. What WTF is with these crowns? Is this a Burger King? I don't, guy. I don't know what you guys are talking about. There's YouTube XP and crowns. Okay, I'm not in YouTube right now. I don't record in YouTube. I record in something called StreamYard, which broadcasts to YouTube, Twitter or X, Facebook, LinkedIn. It also does. It also does Instagram, but you need like some sort of key, and I don't. I logged into Instagram like once in the past 5 years, so I don't know what they're talking about with the key. Now I got a crown, feel better. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess YouTube has done something. Crowns, yeah. I thought initially when people started talking about crowns, they're talking about DraftKings because they give out crowns for making bets and also signing into contests. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I'm not on YouTube. I don't record on YouTube. I go there afterward to promote the video, but. Right now, I'm not on YouTube, so I guess that's why we don't know what you're talking about,
Right?
Because we're both logged in the StreamYard right now. So, all right, we started the draft. Jamar Chase goes first. Jahmyr Gibbs, a surprise, 102. He sometimes falls to like 107. I guess this RMK guy's a Lions fan, right? I'd have to.
I've not seen him go 7. The latest I've seen him. I've done 8 drafts in the last 24 hours, and he's usually 3 to 5. 7 feels that would be. I'd love that to fulfill him at 7.
Yeah, I've taken Malik Neighbors over him, and I could see if you're like, well, you're crazy for doing that, but I am down on the Lions this year because they lost Ben Johnson. They lost one of their guards too. So I feel like there's going to be a downgrade. It's not going to be like too bad. Like I don't hate Jahmyr Gibbs. Like if I got him and I have drafted him before, I'm fine with it. I think he could have a really good year. He's super talented. I just think that the offense is going to suffer a setback this year. So I don't think his like upside is as like high as it was the year before. Then again, I guess you can have a counter argument saying that with Ben Johnson gone, maybe the new offensive coordinator will give Gibbs more of the workload. So, all right, we're up. So Malik Neighbors is here. I don't know why he's a Q tag. I guess like he has his toe is hurting him or something. I don't know. I'm not worried about it. We have Neighbors. We have St. Brown. We have Nico Collins, Brian Thomas. There's also McCaffrey. So who are you thinking here as we wait on Tim God's pick?
Yeah, I mean, I think I like Neighbors there. I also, man, I've really become smitten with Mr. One Brian Thomas.
Yeah, me too.
I've got him pretty. I've moved him up my rankings. I was just telling you before we started recording. I did a more kind of my first early rendition of thorough rankings.
Okay. Yeah, I love Tom. I love Thomas.
I give Neighbors a slight lead, but yeah, I would go either way.
Yeah, we could hopefully get Thomas at 202. If we don't, maybe we get Collins at 202. I think the worst case scenario is this Chiefs salty panda guy. Nice name. He's taking Collins and Thomas. If that happens, what would you do? Would you roll the dice with McCaffrey, or would you take I know you don't like tight ends early. Well, we don't have to worry about that because he took McCaffrey. So So he took Thomas as well. Do you like Collins here, or do you like someone else like maybe McConkey or? I know you don't like Drake London.
I mean, what running backs are available here?
We have Devon Achane, Jonathan Taylor, Bucky Irving, Josh Jacobs, Kyren Williams, Chase Brown.
And I would go running back or Nico Collins. I mean, if you really like Collins.
All right, we have 3 seconds. So I took Collins here. I like starting with 2 receivers. If there's great value with running back, I'll take a running back. But I think dual receiver is the way to go here because I think you can get good values later for running backs, like round 5 through 8. There seem to be like a lot of good running backs, whereas like the receivers kind of dry up like once you get past round 8. And plus, this is a 3 receiver draft with PPR, so usually like your a flex guy is going to be a receiver as well, So
yeah. I've done 8 drafts in the last 48 hours. I think my roster, I much like my roster when I actually balance running back and receiver early, and getting at least one running back in the first 2 rounds is I feel like my roster is almost always better. So we'll see how this turns out. I hear what you're saying with the value there. I don't think it's as deep as I've heard you say it a few times over the last few weeks. I feel like the running back falls off pretty quickly too.
Really, I feel like I've always like came away with liking my running backs when I've taken one in like round 5 or one in round 8. John Sanders, 411 super chat. Thank you so much, John Sanders. Really appreciate it. He says, call YouTube and get rid of these crowns. All right, let me get YouTube on the phone here. But thank you so much, John Sanders. Really appreciate it. Yeah, that's I don't know. Like I said, I can't see it. I imagine it might be annoying. I mean, like, look, any changes could be annoying, but yeah, I don't know. The Iron Throne will be mine. Mr. Appleman says, so, Walt, have you done previous year's best ball? Have you ended up winning money? Did a couple last year, consider doing more this year. I did pretty well in the playoffs, and I did really well in those like weekly contests. I actually didn't do too many regular season last year, so I kind of discovered it late, but I did so many like week 2 onward, week 3 onward, week 4 onward. And I think like my biggest advantage there was not getting or not overreacting to player performances. So I mentioned this a couple times. In week 2 onward last year, because we saw Isaiah Likely go nuts against the Chiefs in the opener, and then we saw Jaden Reed the following night go crazy against the Eagles. Those guys were drafted so early. Jaden Reed was going 2nd round, and then Isaiah Likely was going 4th round. Like if you avoided those guys there, like you automatically were eliminating at least 1 or 2 teams, you know, and so that gave you a better chance. And then, you know, with like guys who didn't have great week 1s, they were discounted at a nice price, and I was able to get them for good value, and that's what I did all year. And like once you get to the buys, like week 6 onward, like the week 5 guys or the guys that had week 5 buys, they were just so much more valuable than the other players because they already had their buys. You weren't going to miss any games with them, and it didn't feel like a lot of people understood that. I think some people did, but like a lot of people just were drafting, you know, week 10 buys or whatever over week 5 buy guys, and like they were like pretty similar players, and like don't you realize like you're just getting a big edge here? So I feel like that's where I got a big advantage. And then in the playoffs last year, I was like winning the Super Bowl thing for best ball for a while, but then Xavier Worthy scored a touchdown. I didn't have Worthy in that lineup, and I got passed, unfortunately. But I did pretty well overall. So, Kenny, how'd you do? I know you were like new to this last year too.
Yeah, I mean, I think I had a handful of lineups that cashed, nothing significant. Most of my lineups that I didn't do anything, so pretty small percentage. But that speaks more about me, not DraftKings or the format. That's user error.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you got to get used to this and stuff. So I feel like I did as I did those like week 2, week 3, week 4 owner contests. We're up in 3 picks. I just saw a couple of old receivers go with Adams and Tyreek Hill. McLaurin just went. I was looking at him. So we're up in 2 picks. We have Chase Brown, Jack Smith and Jigba, Jaden Daniels, Rashee Rice, James Cook, Mike Evans, Breece Hall, Joe Mixon, DJ Moore, Joe Burrow, Xavier Worthy, etc. So where are you looking at? I know, well, Chase Brown just went. So what are you looking at? Because we have 1 pick left. Now we're on the clock.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel pegged here with running back now. I don't love Cook, but he would be the one. Joe Mixon would be an option. Breece Hall would be an option here. The player here I love is Jackson and Jigba. Jackson Smith and Jigba is my favorite player here. I love him. Yeah, but I kind of feel pegged to go running back here, don't you?
No, I'll gladly take Jackson Smith and Jigba. We can take a running back here at our next pick. You know, Chief Salty Panda could. He already took McCaffrey, so doesn't seem like he's going to go double running back. Of the running backs here, do you like Cook or Mixon more, or maybe Breece Hall? You know.
To me, it's Mixon or Hall. I think Cook. I've got him lower on the rankings.
Me too. I'm more inclined to go Mixon because actually we have Collins. That's the problem with Mixon. So as Mixon has an easy end of season schedule. I don't mind that, but like, you know, what are you thinking here? Should we go Mixon or maybe Hall? Because
I would go. Yeah, the Breece Hall does make that situation.
You want Breece Hall instead?
Yeah, the Collins situation makes Hall more desirable to me.
Okay. All right. Let's go Brees Hall. I don't think I've drafted Brees Hall yet. Yeah, I worry about Brees Hall with Justin Fields because he's not going to catch as many passes. Scrambling quarterbacks are less likely to dump off passes. But Brees Hall is super talented, and the offensive line is good. So, let's see. Got who talks the most on here? They talk about the Crowns. Could make this chat really annoying. Let's hope they don't keep us. They charge Walter Football a crown removal fee. That's probably true. Brent says, "Oh, Diggs is gonna steal BBL's Drizzy May's innocence." Purple Coke, never heard of it. Never. Diggs it though. Yes. What do you think about Diggs being on a boat? I'm more concerned with his torn ACL personally.
Yeah. I mean, I like Diggs as a player. We always liked him, but I don't know how he's going to recover. Hard to know. I can care about what players are doing in May.
Yeah. They're trying to discourage super chats by adding no crowns to the post or discourage super chats. Wow, what jerks. I figured out the crowns 1 to 3 are the top 3 people on the chat in terms of comments posted. Tony Romeo loves James Cook on every broadcast. I worry about like James Cook potentially holding out with the contract situation. And we had the story about how he sold his house. So I don't know how concerned you are about that. It's like I'm not that concerned now because it's May, but it's like something in the back of my mind at least. Like how are you treating that?
Yeah, I think that's a potential situation there. I also just think the Bills also recognize that like they can't win as currently constructed. Like the way they've run their offense the last couple of years seems like it's not working. So I wonder if the Bills at some point shift, like they have to get more from the receivers on the outside. And so I mean, you've got this fantastic quarterback with a rocket laser arm who can make things happen, and you have Drek, at receiver. Like, I don't even know. Is Drek a word? I don't even know if that's a word.
It's definitely a word. Yeah. I like the word. You don't hear that too often these days when football is discussed, but I like it. Jameson Williams 4.11 seems early. I haven't seen him go that early. Omari Hampton before Travis Hunter's interesting 4.09. I saw Hampton go 3.12 in a draft I did on Sunday. Chuba Hubbard early 4.12. I think that's a little too early. I think the best value in round 4 is Mixon at 4.07. I mean, like we were talking about him at 3.11. So like that. Kenneth Walker 5.01 is nice. So Jalen Hurts has not gone yet. I think that's a little interesting. I did get Joe Burrow like mid 5th round. I usually don't like to draft quarterback early, but like there's Jalen Hurts. I like to get him mid 5th round. Otherwise I won't take him there. But it seems weird to me that the guy who took Barkley also took Hurts. Just kind of negative correlation. But I actually have done that too. So I'm not like the trash talking here. It just felt like just such great value. Those guys can go off together. It's not impossible.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like RJ Harvey's a bust waiting to happen at 5.04. Like just this guy took 2 rookie running backs with Hampton and Harvey. It just feels like that could be a disaster. And I also don't like his 2nd round pick, McBride. I look at McBride as a player, but like round 2 is a little nuts. So this Nat C team is the 4th drafting. I don't think they're doing that well. Sam Laporta 5 to 6 seems early. So not too many picks I like here.
Purple drink.
Purple drink. Yeah, that's codeine, right. Cough syrup, soda, and hard candy. Nice. Gotta have that hard candy in there. Russell Purple drank himself out of the league. Yeah. Well, he did that for sure. All right, we're up in 2 picks. Best players are Courtland Sutton, Metcalf. There's Pickens, Zay Flowers. There's also James Conner, Ridley. Not in that tier, but like other players here. Who are you looking at right now?
Yeah. So this is are we on the board here?
We're up in 2 picks.
Yeah. So this is the area this is why I think I disagree with your kind of the sentiments from earlier. There's a lot of receivers here that I really like that I think have significant upside.
No, yeah, me too. Yeah.
So that's why I actually don't love the running backs in this region here. I think they all have some significant question marks. So I think I'd rather have running back early and get a bunch of these guys. Like I'm a big fan of Sutton, Metcalf, Zay Flowers. Not as much Flowers as I love Sutton and Metcalf. I like Flowers as well. Juwan Jennings is my favorite player in this region here in the draft. I like Jordan Addison some as well. I don't love Waddle as much. What was that?
You're taking Sutton here?
Yeah, I would go either one of those guys. I think, I don't know who the other running backs are available in this spot.
We'll address Sutton here. We'll look at as this guy goes. There's Connor, Montgomery, Judkins, Aaron Jones, Caleb Johnson, Tony Pollard, Pacheco. You can get in a couple of rounds later.
Although I've seen him going quite a bit. I mean, in this next spot, the two running backs that I love here in this 6th or 7th round, if he won't be there when we get back in the 7th, but it's Aaron Jones. Love Aaron Jones. He was so productive last year when he's healthy. Obviously, he misses. It seems like he misses his entire career. He misses games.
Yeah.
When he's healthy, I think he's great. Tony Pollard is also very good. I kind of went back and watched some of the stuff last year. Tony Pollard was still very productive in moments last year. The team was just terrible. They had lots of Drek.
Well, who we drafted? We're up now. We have 15 seconds here.
I would go one of the either Jones or Pollard is my favorite guys in this spot for running backs.
Okay. Well, let's go. I like Jones better. So let's go with Jones. Pollard could maybe come back to us. We'll see. All right. So we have two running backs. So what you were saying before, you said you disagree with me. This is not the point in which I don't like the receivers. I like the receivers here. I think once we get back to 2 rounds later, once we're drafting the turn at weeks around 7 and 8, and that's where I think it gets dicey. But here I do like the receivers still. So we have 4 of them. We have 2 running backs. So we'll see what receivers we can get at 7-11 and 802. But yeah, our 2 guys here, Zay Flowers, Juwan Jennings, who we're considering, just went off the board. Jennings has been creeping up in ADP. Before the draft, he was going around round 7, sometimes round 8. Now he's consistently going round 6. I don't see I barely see him round 7 anymore. And I usually do a draft a day. Sometimes I don't. Like yesterday, my kids were sick and stuff, so I didn't. But sometimes I do 2 drafts a night or something. But it's usually 1 or 2 a day. And I kind of see the difference in ADP, where it's kind of interesting where Jennings has moved up a little bit. Some guys have moved down a little bit. Tyreek Hill, for example, he was going late round 2, early round 3 before the draft, and now he's going mid or late round 3. So these guys, their ADP has changed, not dramatically, but it has a little bit. Jaden Blue, another guy for Dallas's running back, he was going round 12, and now he's going round 11. So he's moved up a whole round, but I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's been some other movements and stuff. Just those are the ones that stuck out to me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's also interesting. There's a couple guys that I think have huge upside potential that I'm surprised. Jennings being the main one. I'm surprised. I guess I would expect him. To me, I think. He's I think he's gonna be the number 1 receiver on which should be a decent offense.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
I guess and I think he's a good player. And so I think he's got the same. I think he's got the same upside as. Let's say I think he's a better player than Jameson Williams. I think he's a better player. I think he's got the similar upside as DJ Moore. I think he's in the same realm as a Mike Evans at this point. Maybe slight step behind Xavier Worthy. So the fact that he's in the 6th round and all the guys I just mentioned are 4th round guys.
Yeah.
I just think it's surprising to me that he's a 6th rounder.
Yeah, me too. Pearsall is another guy. I mean, he could be the number 1 guy there. I like Jennings, but Pearsall has been his ADP has gone up a little bit as well. People are kind of realizing these guys are going way too late. Jordan Addison too, although his ADP hasn't really rose, I think that he's someone that is going a little too late as well. Whereas Chris Godwin at 608, I have no interest in him at all. Because he's coming off the injury and they drafted Emeka Egbuka, so.
It was funny. I did my rankings. I kind of sat down and, I kind of done some. I had some preliminary thoughts when we've been doing drafts, but I really sat down and really think through. Okay, who would I really draft? So I came up with my rankings, and then I started doing best ball drafts. And then I thought to myself, you get to this point in the draft where it's this guy's higher in my ranking, so I should take him.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't really want to take him over the other. So it's okay, you're like, okay, never. I got to go back and adjust my rankings because I
Right,
had
right,
Chris
right.
Godwin like so high. Like every time I had a chance to draft him, I'm just like, I don't really want him. And so I think I moved him down like 14 spots over the course of 2 days because it's
That's
like
funny.
I just keep not drafting him. And I'm just like, yeah, he's not really where I had him.
That's the ultimate test of like your rankings. I've done that so many times over the years where I'm like, I get to it's usually a mock draft because I usually like by the time I actually draft, I have it like all worked out. But it's usually like my first or second draft of my rankings, and like some guys available. I'm like, God, I don't want this guy at all. I may actually make notes to myself. I'm like, yeah, I have to drop this guy. Sue says you can get elite Mason Rudolph with your next pick. Did you hear the news today that Mason Rudolph's elite?
Oh, yeah.
Roman Wilson, the Steelers' number 2 receiver. He's like, yeah, Mason Rudolph, he's an elite quarterback. Like, okay, sure if you say so. So all right, we're up now in one pick. We're up now. The best running backs are Caleb Johnson, DeAndre Swift, Isaiah Pacheco, Brian Robinson, Tyron Tracy. Receivers, not Kupp, not Diggs. See, this is like sketchy receiver time. I don't like any of these guys. I like Downs. I like Pittman. Yeah, I like Pittman too. Running. All right, who are we taking running backs?
The running backs here are Pacheco or Robinson are the guys that I would take here.
Okay, let's go Pacheco because we both agree on him. All right, so let's take a receiver. Unless there's a tight end, we like Jonnu Smith tight end now. There's not. All right, so quarterback we Bo Nix. Do you want to pair Bo Nix with Courtland Sutton?
Yeah.
You say yeah?
Yeah, we could do that. I mean, I'd
rather take a 5th receiver, honestly. Because we only have 4 receivers. Like, it really dries up after this.
Yeah.
No shot at Bo Nix, but
I mean, you could take shots at Bo Nix. I'm not offended.
All right, so which Colt receiver do you like the most, Downs or Pittman?
I prefer Pittman over Downs significantly. Yeah, the fact that they're even close is I find it odd that so many people love Downs. I don't know.
I like Downs. I like both like evenly. Why do you like Pittman more than Downs? It's interesting. I view them like pretty similarly.
Yeah, I just find I watched them play, and Pittman is such a better athlete, better hands. Seems, I mean, he's better down the field tracking the ball. I don't know. I just don't think they're the same caliber receiver, so I just find it odd. It's hard to judge them because they haven't had decent quarterback play. So I think Pittman is suffering from David Boston disease, where he's never quite been in the full himself because when I mean that, I mean he's got bad quarterback play, not that he's got roid rage.
Right, that's an issue. But David Boston, this is massive. This is an interesting team. Tim God, 375. He has 7 receivers, 1 tight end, no running back, no quarterback. He took Bowers and took Amon-Ra St. Brown, Rashee Rice, DJ Moore, DK Metcalf, Zay Flowers, Chris Olave, Stephon Diggs. So, like, Diggs is a bit of a waste here. Like, you have 6 receivers, okay. You don't need your 7th. You don't need an old player coming off torn ACL who is on boats right now. Like, that is the trifecta of like not drafting a player. So it feels like maybe he should have taken a running back here or something.
Yeah, I don't. What are you doing? I don't get it. Like,
yeah, it's like, okay, I guess you're a running back strategy. You want to try it, but at some point, like, you're taking crap receivers over, a Brian Robinson Jr. or Caleb Johnson. Like, that's stupid. Right. I can justify every one of those other picks, although Rashee Rice might be suspended. That scares me, but every other one, I'm fine with. I think the other picks I can't make fun of them, But collectively, this team is just not very good.
Rashee Rice, by the way, everything I've read, it feels like the suspension will get, in all likelihood, pushed to 2026. Is what
kicking this down the road, like the Saints cap situation.
Yeah. So I don't know I don't really understand all the details of what the league is waiting for. Apparently, they're waiting for something from the legal, but and I don't know the details. But I am surprised he's still going in the 3rd round. I've seen him go as late as 4th, but I've seen him also go like high 3rd round, like early 3rd as well. So he feels like there's a wide range on him. I'm surprised that there's not more of a discount on him. With a potential suspension, I would have thought that would have like scared a lot of people off.
Yeah, me too.
So the fact that he's going in the 3rd, I mean, 4th feels like a decent value, but I guess I would have, if he had asked me, a couple weeks ago, I would have thought, oh, he probably going in the 5th because people are scared. 6th round, people are nervous. Because if he gets suspended for 4 to 6 games, I mean, if you knew for sure he was going to be suspended for 6 games, well, he's like a 9th round pick or a 10th round pick, right? I mean,
exactly.
I mean, so it seems like most people either are not worried about it, or maybe they forgot about the situation. I don't know.
I think some people may not know. I think there's legitimacy to that. But I don't know. Maybe they think it's maybe a 3-game or 2-game or something. I don't know. I found it weird as well that he's going so early when there's a decent chance he could be suspended this year. Now, if people are hearing it's not going to be until 2026, then yeah, I mean, I think he's going probably in the right area. Like if it was announced he's not getting suspended, where does he go? Like probably the same place, right? Like somewhere 3rd round, maybe higher, a little higher in the 3rd round, but
but it feels like this, like you're drafting him here at the top of his value, right?
Right, exactly, yeah. I don't get it.
Jaylen Warren in the 9th round. This is the latest I've seen him. I've not seen him go this late.
Really, I've seen him go 9th. Maybe it's because I've done so many drafts. But now we're up in 2, 3 picks here, so I feel like we should discuss. So we need a quarterback. There's Caleb Williams. I don't know how you feel about him. We don't have a Bears player, so we don't have to feel compelled for it. CJ Stroud, I think, to pair with Nico Collins makes sense. Justin Herbert, they're all good. We have Drake May, JJ McCarthy. You can take any one of these guys. Running backs, there's Tyron Tracy. I like him. I know you don't like Najee Harris very much. There's Jordan Mason. We already have Aaron Jones, though. I want to star Garendo, not for these 2 picks, but for later. Receiver, a bunch of rookies. Like Buka, we take Higgins and Stroud if you want. It may not be a bad idea. I don't know. And then tight ends, your boy Evan Ingram, Colson Melvin. I know you don't like him. I'm just saying. Caleb Williams just went. So what are you thinking here as far as picks?
If you feel compelled to go quarterback, which I think this is probably the best, this is a spot to consider it here. My favorite of this bunch is Justin Herbert. I think he's the best of the bunch here. If you wanted the pair, I think Stroud would be my second favorite.
Let's pair, and then if Herbert comes back to us, we take him. So we could take our 2 quarterbacks here. But I just want the correlation, So I think that's pretty important. And if Herbert goes, we can take May or McCarthy. A little early for those guys, but as we showed with the other positions, there's really not much to like here. Or we can take Jaden Higgins, I suppose. Tyron Tracy just went. He's like the last of the running backs, I think, that you can draft. Like the rest of them, unless you like Najee Harris, which I don't really. So
I mean, Tank Bigsby to me, I just absolutely love. I mean, I would draft him in every round.
I think it's a little too early, like here, Trevor Lawrence just went, so that was Brian Thomas pairing. All right, we can take Herbert, right? They have different buys, 6 and 12. So we're taking Herbert. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think Herbert's great in the spot in the 10th round.
Okay, and maybe we take one of his rookie receivers later. All right, so let's see if we have any comments. Greg Roman offense. What'd you say?
I've drafted Trey Harris a bit.
Yeah, Trey Harris, interesting. I think Keandre Lambert is someone who could do well. He's a good route runner, so he could maybe play well early. Greg Roman, though, with Herbert, I get it. But Herbert's so talented, and they gave him some good receivers. The Chiefs and Rice should have. Yeah, the Chiefs and Chiefs should have lobbied for him to be pardoned with the auto pen. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I hope those get turned over. That would be great. Jaden Higgins just went. I kind of hoped that he would come back to us, but that wasn't very likely. Trey Harris went too. I had real quick. I had a suggestion for you to watch a TV show as we get going here. I wanted to bring up this quickly because I also wanted to recommend this to everyone listening. Do you watch Squid Game? First of all.
Yeah, we've got 2 episodes left in season 2. So,
okay. So I'm going to read you the description of the show. The show is called The 8 Show, as in the number 8. The 8 Show. It's it's a Korean show, like same as Squid Game. The description is 8 individuals trapped in a mysterious 8-story building participate in a tempting but dangerous game show where they earn money as time passes. Like that does. It sounds like Squid Game, doesn't it? A little bit.
Yeah.
And I thought that's what the case would be. I thought like, oh, cool, another Squid Game show, like whatever. It's not like Squid Game at all. It's a lot different, and it's awesome. There's only one season so far. I'm not done the season yet. I'm heading into the last episode, but I'll say this: like, there are 8 characters in the show. Just as they said, eight characters participate in the show. They're all like, I love each character. Like, each character is so well developed and stuff. It is like, and you see the dynamics between all 8 of them. It's great. There's a lot of like intensity in this show. There's a lot of like mystery, like what's going on, yeah, it's not like Squid Game. It's not like hey, whoever the winner is gets $1 million. Like, they even say like, it's like within the first 20 minutes, they actually say if in the rules they say if someone's eliminated, the game will end. So like all 8 have to survive. So there's no like killing and stuff, but it gets pretty dark. It's a really good show. I really recommend it. So like once you're done Squid Game, I think you should watch the 8 show. I've enjoyed it. Yeah, it's V8 as a number 8, V8 show. Yeah, so good. I think it just came out too, and I saw it as like new shows or something on Netflix. Maybe that wasn't the case. I did see it pop up. I'm like, oh, what's this? And I just fell in love with it right away. Like, it's one of those shows I couldn't stop watching.
Nice.
So really good. All right, so yeah, I just wanted to say that. So if you guys check that out, you really should. All right, so some picks here, rounds 10 through 11. As I mentioned, Higgins went. Your boy Evan Ingram, 10:07. Jordan Mason, 10:06. Makes sense. McCarthy and Love went. So we need a third quarterback at some point. We don't need to take him here, but we do need a third quarterback at some point. Because I strongly recommend 3 quarterbacks in best ball, because one goes down with an injury and then you have a bye. You only have one left, and it could be a problem if he has a bad game. Like, you could take a 0 or like a 5 at the most important, or like potentially like the highest floor position. It's really not good. And make sure you keep your buys in check too. Like, our quarterback buys are 6 and 12, so we can't. If we draft the third quarterback with a 6 or 12 buy, kind of beats the purpose of that. So that's something to keep in mind here. So we're up in 4 picks. Let's see who's on the board. Garendo's still there. Drake May's still there. So if we wanted to go with those 2 guys, I wouldn't mind it. I know that Tank Bigsby here too, so I wouldn't mind going Garendo and then Bigsby in some order. May just went. Quarterbacks, they're Penix, Tua, Stafford. We can get those guys later, I think. Receivers, really nothing. It's kind of barren here. I know some people like Jake Betch. Not sure I want to take him here. And then we don't have a tight end.
Somebody I really respect really says he thinks he's great. Okay. So we don't have a tight end here. I have been drafting a little bit of Njoku. As much as I don't love him, he's good value in this part of the draft. So I've drafted him a few times. I've been drafting a lot of Dallas Goedert. Drafted a little bit of Tyler Kraft. And I've been doing 3 tight ends as well. 3 quarterbacks and 3 tight ends on all of my drafts.
Yeah. All right, so we're up. Let's say Garendo and then Bigsby, I think. I love those 2 sleeper guys. And I know you love Bigsby as well. And I assume you like Garendo too, right?
Yeah. I think Bigsby, although Bigsby has 2 running backs, he's got he's got the rookie that they drafted and ATN, of course. So there's two bodies there, but I think he's the best player there. And I think he's more talented than of all the guys in this bunch. I think Bigsby is like a legit starting running back in the NFL.
Yeah, I do too. So we had Mike Lucine on from NFLRoughDraft.com, and he used to work for ESPN. He predicted that Travis Etienne will be traded before the start of the season. So that's something to keep in mind. Is it more like lost? No, no. I mean, it's funny. There are a couple flashbacks, but the flashbacks are like right before the show started. So basically, like, this is not spoiled. It's like the first 10 minutes of the show. You walk in, a character walks in, and there are 8 playing cards on the table. No, not playing cards. They're just numbered 1 through 8, and a character gets to choose a card, and that's the floor they're on. So it's kind of like each episode begins with one of the characters picking their card. You see how they first get into this game. That's like the only similarity with like the flashback or something. But I just love how all the characters are developed and stuff, and like and their interactions. It really shows like how how, like humanity and stuff too. Like how these characters interact together and like keep the game going and stuff. So like the point of the game is to keep the game going, so they can earn more money. So it's a really cool show. I really enjoyed it. There was 8 episodes, and each one's like 45 to an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. And I've gone through 7 episodes in 2 days. And like, the only reason I didn't watch the finale last night is because my daughter woke up for like the 3rd time. My kids are sick. Actually, I think my daughter is, I think I might have to get her after we're done our show. So it won't be too much of a wrap up here, unfortunately. So hopefully, and my son seems to be better. I think my daughter has it worse right now. Some guys need a redraft mock draft with the chat soon. Just for fun and practice. Yeah, we're gonna do those all the time in August. Like that's usually when we do those. We're gonna do those every weekday in August. So be prepared to do a lot of those in August. I think like a redraft right now is too early. Even like people would say like best ball is too early. I just think that like with best ball you can get a jump on your competition if you're like kind of aware of what's going on, and like I think the ADP is gonna be a lot tighter in August. Like we're saying, like Juwan Jennings going too late, Ricky Pearsall going too late. Like I feel like those guys are going to rise like in the next 2 months or 3 months, and like by the time we get to like late August, we're going to see Jennings like 5th round or 4th round, and then we're going to see like Pearsall like 6th round, 5th round. And like it's nice that we can get those discounts right now, and we got crazier discounts before, as I said. Like Jennings is going 7th or 8th round, like, and I drafted him so often there. Like and as much as I love him, I'm not getting him as much now because he's going earlier than I anticipate. So that's kind of like the trade-off where like we don't know, like some guy could get injured like on our team. Like if a Pacheco tears his ACL, we're down this running back, and that's information we would have learned later. But like we are getting discounts on players, so there's definitely a trade-off in doing it now. So I like to like do 1 or 2 best ball drafts a day, and then like I'm still doing it by August, so just to have like my team spread out like that. But I wanted to ask you real quick. You said someone you respect likes Jake Besh a lot. Did they say anything specific about them, or did they just kind of say that like broadly?
Well, I'm sure they did, but I don't listen well, so
nice.
My wife says, my wife walks up to me a couple days ago and just looks at me and just says to me, why aren't you listening? And I just thought that was a weird way to start a conversation. I just thought that was, why would you start? Why would you lead with that? I mean, this seems like a, by the way, what is there's some comments. The comments are coming in from, most of them from YouTube, but there's one with this icon, like a little pink person. Yeah. What is that? What platform is that?
That's twitch.tv. That's Amazon's broadcasting thing.
Okay. Well, I'm not cool. I guess the cool kids are on Twitch.
But if you watch like a lot of video game broadcasts or like Magic the Gathering broadcasts, like that's where it's for gaming mostly. I don't like we have an account there or whatever. It's just like I said, StreamYard goes to everything. We're up, by the way, in 1 pick. We need our 3rd quarterback here because they're going to be gone mostly. We can get Richardson, though, if you want. You said you're getting him. We can go for Stafford or Cam Ward. These are the 3 quarterbacks I'm interested in. Although we do have Jackson Smith and Jigba, so maybe Sam Darnold, but I'm not in love with it. So what are you thinking here?
I've been waiting on my 3rd quarterback a little bit, but if you really want to go from here, and I think Brandon Allen is a guy I like in this spot quite a bit. I don't know what receivers or tight ends are available.
All right. Well, you want Algier or Allen? Go ahead. I'm taking
Allen. I prefer Allen, but that's all right.
Okay. All right.
There's tight ends are available on the spot here.
What did you say? Tight end? Yeah, we need tight end. There's Gesicki, who I like. There's
I really like Gesicki. I've gotten him quite a bit. I've drafted Cade Otton in this part of the draft quite a bit. I've drafted Tyler Kraft a little bit, although I think he's gone in this draft already.
Yes. Yeah, he's gone. I like Gesicki quite a bit, especially if I've gotten Burrow in a couple of drafts. Gesicki just went. So there goes that plan. Who are you thinking here? I mean, I don't love any of these tight ends. I feel like we can wait. Like maybe we get Cade Otton later. There's
not a receiver you love here in this spot, then I guess you go. Alec Pierce is one. Yeah, I like Josh Palmer. I like Tillman. I like all those guys. Or you can go quarterback.
Let's go. I think we can get those guys later. Let's go Stafford. So our quarterback buys are 6, 12, and 8. So that worked out well. And maybe we can get Tyler Higbee as one of our tight ends. I've also been drafting Tutu Atwell just a little bit, like round 19 or round 20, just because they paid him $10 million. And plus Devontae Adams is old. So I think there's a chance that he does somewhat well this year. I'm not in love with him, but it's round 19, round 20. If I get Stafford, I'd take Atwell. How Godwin or Addison? For me, easy Addison, like not even
Easy
close.
Addison.
Yes. Godwin is coming off an injury. He's not old, but he's getting closer to 30. And they drafted Emeka Egbuka. There are 4 receivers in that offense with Evans, Godwin, Egbuka, and Jalen McMillan. It's a lot of targets to go around. And keep in mind, like if you just look at last year's production, Godwin is having a great year until he got hurt. But that was Liam Cohen's offense. Like he was utilizing Godwin like he utilized Cooper Kupp with the Rams. Like Godwin was handling that role. And it'll be interesting to see who handles that role in Jacksonville. But we're not going to see that. We're going to see a new coordinator, and they're not going to use Godwin the same way. So like whatever you saw last year is not going to happen again this year. So just keep that in mind.
I've got Addison as my 26th receiver in PPR. I've got Godwin as my 34th. So pretty several spots.
Yeah, I actually want to look that up myself as we go through this draft. Let's see, fantasy rankings. I guess I could order. Yeah, I can order by PPR here as my Excel sheet loads. So what'd you say you had Godwin 20? You had Addison 26 in PPR.
26 and Godwin 34.
I have Addison 22. So 22 versus 26. It's pretty close. And you had Godwin 34. You said.
Yeah.
I had Godwin 45. So I'm even lower.
I was low on him. That is.
I'm even lower on him than you are. So, man, Tillman and Pierce just went. I was hoping for one of those guys. Usually one of them comes back to me in round 15. So it's kind of unusual to see them go this early. By the way, I wanted to check in on our guy who drafted all receivers. He's up to 9 receivers. This guy. So he took Rashid Shaheed in the 11th round and Adam Thielen round 14. So nothing like taking an old receiver and a receiver with a bum quarterback. the slate, his quarterbacks are Caleb Williams and Bryce Young. His running backs are Najee Harris and Travis Etienne. So not a fan of this team. I don't think he's going to win this one.
Hey, thanks for the 20, brother.
Yeah, he's paying the rake here. So, all right. So as mentioned before, Cade Otton's back. All the tight ends. No, he's not. No. Except for Cade Otton, all the tight ends we were considering are back. There's Freiermuth, Strange. I feel like we should take one of them. What do you think about Strange? I think he's has some upside.
Yeah. I mean, I think all of these guys are kind of, I've been taking Taysom Hill a little bit around this part of the draft because, there's always 1 week where he'll throw 3 touchdown passes.
Well, if he's healthy, the torn ACL is an issue, but he's not like a rookie, a running back or receiver. He's gonna he does play running back sometimes, but he's not as impacted by the ACL. Do you want to go Jalen Noel?
I like Jalen Noel. Jalen Noel is by all accounts looks like it's going to be in line to be the second pass catcher there behind Nico Collins.
Well, Jaden Higgins too.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Well, I think it's going to be those 3, and then Christian Kirk. It's going to be those 4 guys. I just don't know what's going to happen there yet.
My confidence in Christian Kirk is pretty. I've been a Christian Kirk defender for a long time, but I'm. What we saw out of him last year, and then injury and changing team. Like when a receiver starts to age a bit and starts to be ineffective, and then gets injured and changes teams, feels like 98% of the time, the result is we never hear from the guy again. Right? We just whatever happened to that guy? Kenny Golladay or
right. So we're up now. I think we need a tight end. So I'm Xing out Strange because he has a week 8 bye, and so does Higbee. So I want him later. There's Pat Freiermuth Chiggy Bang Bang, Taysom Hill. Who do you want out of those three? Oh, Schultz. We can take Schultz too. So we have,
Schultz would probably be my favorite in this bunch. And you
yeah,
compare him with with Stroud.
Yeah, it's nice that we get the correlation too. So we can pair Herbert, maybe get Lambert Smith later, or I know you're not going to like this name. You're going to be pretty turned off, but Mike Williams in round 20, who's back with the Chargers.
In round 20, I mean, it's like
it is round 20. You're right. Like it does. Like remember he would go like round 4, round 5, and like now he's going around 20. It feels like such a discount,
I mean, discount assumes that there's some value in him.
He was coming up to torn ACL last year. In fairness, I did not think he would do well last year.
I'm I know the correlation is a big deal to a lot, but I still, when I get to the end of the draft, I'm also looking at like who can I correlate with. There's almost always just other players that have dropped that are just of more value, and I can't pass up the value.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've not been as intentional on correlation.
Yeah. I like correlation. Like my later round picks will depend on who my quarterbacks are. I found that. Like I said, if I take Stafford, I'll take Tutu Atwell. If I get like JJ McCarthy, I'll take Jalen Naylor in like 20th round. I mean, or as Mike Lachine recommended, the guy from NFL Draft Draft. He recommended Ty Felton, the rookie receiver, as well. If I draft, if I take Stroud, I'll take like Noel here or Schultz. So it really depends. Cam Ward, I don't really pair with. Maybe Chiggy Bang Bang, but like that's it. Just because like if Cam Ward goes off, it's usually probably going to be on the ground, right? So I feel like you don't need to pair mobile quarterbacks that much. So it really depends on like my late picks will depend on who my quarterback is. Although there are some constant I go to, like Roman Wilson. I'll take him around 20. He's the Steelers' number 2 receiver right now. Like maybe they'll sign Amari Cooper or like trade for someone, but like right now he's the number 2 receiver and they like him. He was a 3rd round pick a year ago. He just didn't play last year because he got hurt. And then Marquez Valdes-Scantling, who like 2 or 3 weeks out of this year, he's going to hit like 18 plus fantasy points, and he's going to do nothing the rest of the year. So for round 20, if like he's effective for you for like in 2 or 3 weeks, and he makes like your top lineup and he does well, like you take that every time, right? So it's like who else are you going to take around 20?
I can usually find someone I like more than him.
I don't know. Like who's going to get like around 20? You're going to get like 18 plus points 3 times.
All right, we'll get there. We'll see. We'll see what see what's there.
Yeah, we should do an episode just dumpster diving and like looking at like ADP 200 plus and like seeing who we like, so we can kind of like line up who we take late in the draft. All right, we're up to 3 picks. I assume Higbee's still available. Taysom Hill's still available. I should go to tight ends actually, shouldn't I? There's Higbee ADP 219. That's just way too late. I'm gonna start.
Who's our current? Who are our tight ends? I can't remember.
Dalton Schultz. That's it.
That's it. Okay.
That's it. So I wouldn't mind taking 2 tight ends here, unless there's a running back that you like. There's Devin Neal, Marshawn Lloyd, Blake Corum. Blake Corum's okay.
Blake Corum's the one in this little bunch here that stands out, but
yeah,
not essential to go there.
Yeah. All right, we're up. So do you just want to go Higbee to just lock him in?
Yeah, I mean, I like Taysom Hill as my favorite, but if you like Higbee,
yeah, I mean, we have Stafford, so I want to pair him. So all right, we got and I'll take Taysom Hill if he makes it to us. If Chief Salty Panda doesn't take him, and he has 2 tight ends already, so maybe he will. We'll see what he does. So
who are the other running backs available in this spot right now?
There's Marshawn Lloyd, Blake Corum, and then we have Jarquez Hunter, Raheem Mostert, Braden Smith, Woody Marks. We had a comment saying Woody Marks is a lottery pick. So we have no, we don't have Mixon. Never mind. I thought for a second we might have Mixon. So if we had Mixon, I'd say no to Marks, but I don't mind Marks. I think he's gonna be a solid backup, but he has to pass Dameon Pierce first to be that backup. So we don't know if that's going to happen. All right, so would you go Taysom Hill or Blake Corum? Yeah, we're up. What do you think?
I'll probably go Corum. What's our running back situation?
Well, we have
Remind me.
six. We have six of them.
Okay.
Brees Hall, Aaron Jones, Isaiah Pacheco, Isaac Guerrero,
Oh.
Tank Bigsby, and Tyler Algier. So
Yeah, I go tight. Go Hill.
Taysom Hill. Okay.
I love Taysom Hill.
Yeah, look, I mean, he's probably not going to play the first 5 or 6 weeks, maybe 7 or 8 weeks, but once he gets back on the field, like I think that he's going to do quite a bit. So our tight end buys are 6, 8, and 11. So it kind of sucks that Taysom Hill doesn't have an early buy. Like if he had a week 5 buy, like he's going to miss that game anyway. Maybe he'll come back after the bye, like week 12, he'll be on the field. Interesting that Blake Corum just went. And was that the team we made fun of? Yeah, it was. The team we made fun of took one of our guys. How does that make you feel?
Makes you feel dumb.
Yeah, no. All right. So my good news, my daughter is looks like she's asleep. So she's when she's not sick, she's like an all pro. Like she'll wake up for like a minute and then she'll fall back asleep. She's so good with that.
Do we have 3 quarterbacks here?
Yeah, we have Stafford, Herbert, and Stroud.
Got it. Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So, as I said before, I don't want to leave without 3 quarterbacks and 3 tight ends. So, yeah, I know you're on board with that too.
Yep.
Interesting that Keenan Allen went around 15. He's not on the team. And I say that's interesting because like Amari Cooper is still on the board, and I feel like they're obviously Keenan Allen plays in the slot. Amari Cooper is not, but like still. Different. It's kind of weird that Allen's going 4 or 5 rounds before Cooper. I don't know what to make of that.
Yeah, I don't think I want either one of them on my roster at this point.
I have taken Cooper in like round 19, around 20, just because he's going to be playing somewhere. Just don't know where. But like if he's playing with like Aaron Rodgers as his second receiver, I don't think that's too bad. Like, what if he goes back to Buffalo? I don't know. Like he's going to be somewhere. And Allen's probably going to be somewhere too. It's kind of weird that they haven't signed anywhere. J.K. Dobbins hasn't signed anywhere. Nick Chubb's still out there. I mean, I think Dobbins is the weird one because he actually had a great season last year.
Yeah, he's very productive.
Yeah, he did miss a few games, but outside of that, he was awesome. And so it's very strange that he's a free agent. Like if I need a running back, if I'm like the Cowboys, like why haven't I signed Dobbins?
Yeah,
so I don't know. We have heard. I don't know if you heard like positive reports about Javonte Williams in Dallas. Do you trust that at all?
No.
It reminds me of I used to hang out with this girl in college. I actually wrote about her in my in my book, the most recent one. And she would be like, she would make plans with me, and then she would break them. It's not like hey, you want to go out, and then like, she'd flake. Like she'd be like, hey, let's meet up here, or let me come over, and then like all the time, like no joke, like she would like cancel. And I feel like that's like Javonte Williams. It's like I always hear like great things, like Javonte Williams looking great. Javonte Williams is going to be an RB1 this year, and like he's always a letdown. Like I feel like that's him, that's that girl. I'm not going to fall for it again. I'm done. I've experienced this too much in my life. This is 20 years ago, but I'm still feeling the pain of being just being disappointed from that whole experience. Like I said, it was so weird. Like she'd be the one to initiate. Like she'd text me. She'd be like, "Hey, want to hang out?" I'm like, "Cool." And she'd be like, and then like an hour later, she's like, "Oh, I can't." It's like, okay, sure. And she was supposed to go to a wedding with me, and she flaked. And so that was actually how I started Jerks of the Week. It's because she had to go to a work function. So I wrote about that. So that was my first Jerks of the Week entry.
Nice.
Yeah, just some history there. All right, so we're at the time. I think we need to go start dumpster diving. We have 3 quarterbacks, 6 running backs, 3 receivers, only 6 receivers. We need at least 1 receiver. And we have Cooper here. There's Tutu Atwell. I don't know how you feel about him, but like I said, we take him. There's Keandre Lambert-Smith. I mentioned him before, just like correlating guys with our quarterbacks. We're up in 1 pick. Who do you like here?
I think Lambert-Smith is a guy I also like this Coker guy out of Carolina. I know it's not correlation, but yeah. I don't know if I've ever seen Coker play, but been reading stuff I like about him. So
He got
I'm
hit
just
hard. You know, go ahead.
I'm just reading scouting reports on these guys.
So Coker got hit hard by the Tedero McMillan pick because he was slated to start on the outside, but now he's not. Let's. You said you like Lambert Smith. Let's take him, and then maybe we can take Coker with this next pick if you want. But yeah, I mean, look, if all it takes is an injury to Leggett or Tedero McMillan, then Coker is going to be the guy. But he did have some good games last year. I remember seeing that. But yeah, we could take him or Tutu Atwell or someone else. Like we're up in one pick. So what do you think here?
Yeah, I mean, you seem to really love Tutu Atwell, so I mean, I could do without him, but
I don't love him. They gave him $10 million for this year alone, and they talked him up, and we have Stafford, so that's kind of like why I like him here in this situation. I don't love him in general, though.
If you like him as a correlation, when it comes to the $10 million, there's a long list of players that have been paid that have done nothing. So
for sure, 100%. But at least they have like some plans for him, maybe.
Yeah, there's a laundry list of players.
I know. So who are you taking? I'll let you make this pick. Who are you taking?
Okay, I got pressure. Okay, we gotta go Atwell because I got 3 seconds and I can't think about
it. All right. Put you on the spot.
I might have gone Wicks. I like Wicks there. I've been trying to get at least one Green Bay receiver on every roster.
Yes.
It varies each time, except Christian Watson. Does. I don't want him.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, he's hurt. Of course, you don't take Christian Watson. Anyway, I agree. I think that's a good strategy to have. Usually, like one guy goes off, you just don't know which one. But best ball is great because you don't have to make your decisions to put them in your lineup.
Between Reed, Dobbs, and Wicks. Maybe not every line. I think every lineup I've done has had a Green Bay receiver at some point in the lineup. Because I just want to get some guys mixed in there.
Yeah, that makes sense. I like that strategy. Sue says she used Walter Football as an insurance policy. It's 100% true. Yeah, I was like always the backup plan, which I don't know. I had this like weird experience with one of my friends. She was even married or she was engaged at the time, and like one of my friends started dating one of my other friends. Like her best friend started dating one of my friends, but this friend of mine was like her backup plan, in case her marriage didn't work out or something. And she got super pissed at her friend, and like she was engaged. Like somebody has to let it go, right? Like how long are you gonna run this backup plan out, So she did not. She disinvited her best friend from her wedding, and she hasn't spoken to her since.
Excellent.
Because she started dating that guy. So weird stuff here. Yeah. Javonte Wash, Melvin Gordon. Yeah. What a shame. What a tease we saw with Javonte Williams. He looked great those four games where he played healthy in his rookie year. He was awesome. And then he tore his ACL, and he hasn't done anything since. So,
bummer.
Yeah. It sucks when a player's career goes awry with those injuries. Like Todd Gurley. He was on the top of the world when he led the Rams to the Super Bowl. He looked like the best running back in the league. One of our best sources, he thought that Todd Gurley was going to be the next Jim Brown. That's how highly he thought of him. And he was the best running back in the NFL for a period. And then he just disappeared 2 years after the Super Bowl, just completely gone because of those injuries. Just such a shame,
Although over the last decade, Todd Gurley has the second most touchdowns in the NFL over the last decade.
Yeah.
And he hasn't played in the last 5 years.
That's crazy, isn't it? He is so good.
That's how many touchdowns he had. He's the second most rushing touchdowns of the last 10 years.
Does that say more about him, how great he was, or how bad these current running backs are?
Maybe. In first place is Derrick Henry, who's played 9 of those 10 seasons, or all 10 of those 10 seasons.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's really insane. Man, what a wasted career that he could have had if he didn't have those injuries. Like, where would he be on the rushing list if he stayed healthy?
Crazy. Yeah.
How
I
old
mean,
is he
and it
now?
goes back to college. I mean, he had significant knee injuries in college at Georgia.
Yeah, that's true. He's 30 years old right now. He would still be in the league right now if he didn't have those injuries. It'd be like one of the older. He wouldn't be like a first round pick anymore, probably. Although Derrick Henry is, but maybe he still would be. But he would be like probably like lower end first round at this point. But yeah, I mean, he's what a shame. Right? What a shame. When did that go here? That's I didn't see him go. I obviously went somewhere because we didn't see him in the rankings. We can just use the
Ninth round.
there you go, 906. You can use Control F or S Kenny for it. All right. So one thing I noticed before we get to our team, break it down real quick. The team that we're making fun of, he drafted one tight end, only one, Brock Bowers. Granted, it's a great tight end, but when he gets to week 8 and Brock Bowers is on bye, he's going to have a 0 from tight end. So generally not something you want to do. All right. So our draft, we went receiver heavy early, 4 out of the first 5 picks. Malik Neighbors, Nico Collins, Jackson Smith-Njigba, and Cortland Sutton. I love that start for receivers. And then Michael Pittman, solid. And then we took Jalen Noel and Keandre Lambert-Smith and Tutu Atwell. So I really like our receivers. Running backs look solid too. Nothing like crazy at the top, but we have Breece Hall, Aaron Jones, Isaiah Pacheco. Then some sleepers here with Isaac Garendo, Tank Bigsby, Tyler Algier. And then that was it for running back. For quarterback, we stuck to the middle rounds, which I would recommend. I think that's like where the good value is for quarterbacks. So CJ Stroud, Justin Herbert, I think a solid 1-2 punch. It feels like one of those guys is going to do well each week, So I think that's kind of good correlation. And then Matthew Stafford, round 14, he's always going to be solid, unless he has the same number of injuries at receiver he had last year, but it's probably not going to happen again. And then at tight end, we took 3 tight ends in a row: Schultz, Higbee, and Hill. Hill has the torn ACL, but as I said before, like he's not as impacted by it. So how do you think we did? Obviously, everyone loves their own draft, but what do you think? Like, do we have a good chance of winning this league?
Yeah, I think this is one of the better teams here. I really do believe it. I do. As I look back, I go. I do think. I don't know that I love the heavy receiver start as much. I think there's some, because as we look later on, there are guys that I like more, or no, that I like more, but I think there's better. I think there's some pocket value there. So, for example, like I love each one of these players. I love Neighbors. I love Collins. I love Njigba. Like these are great players. I'm not,
Yeah,
they're great. But I wonder, okay, if you don't go Neighbors, let's say, instead you go there, although I don't love the running back, like Christian McCaffrey there, like, that makes me, that's concerning, right? Like,
it's like a league loser pick, right? I mean, I always
right.
say that in the first couple rounds you can't win your league, but you can lose it. And then, like, if you draft a guy who plays 6 games, like that loses your league,
Yeah. So let's say you went Jonathan Taylor there, who went 270. It was pretty late, I think. So let's say you went Jonathan Taylor there, and then so instead of Neighbors. So you've got Taylor, and you've got Collins and Njigba, and then you get down to where like if you scroll down there, like you get down to like where Breece Hall is. Well, instead of Breece Hall, if I already have a running back, I can go DJ Moore, or I can go Xavier Worthy, or Devontae Smith. I like all those guys, or even DK Metcalf, right? And then I come back, I can get I got Sutton there. It's great. But instead of Sutton, maybe, or go, if I got Aaron Jones there is good, but maybe Jawan Jennings is an option in that spot if I have a running back earlier, right? Like maybe I still go with Breece Hall in that spot, or running back or receiver that's good, DJ Moore. I can come back and go Jawan Jennings, or I feel like I like some of these running backs enough. Or I like some of the receivers in the spot enough here where I feel like, if I can get a combination of DK Metcalf, Jawan Jennings, Zay Flowers, Chris Olave, even Shakir from Buffalo, like if I can get a combination of those guys here, I feel really good about those guys. And I think I'm warming up to those guys more and more over the last week or two.
Okay. That's interesting. I usually like to start receivers early, just because you have to start 3 of them and it's PPR. But I do see the merit to going running back early. Usually, like running backs tend to get injured more than receivers, although that didn't happen last year. Actually, the receivers got hurt more, which is interesting. I can see that if you go Taylor over Collins, like you said, then you don't have to take Hall. You could take more worthy, or like you're saying with Jones, you can take Olave. So yeah, it's definitely interesting approaches that you can take, depending on what you do. But like I said, I'd rather personally get the 2-star receivers and then try to pair them with quarterbacks. Obviously, you can't with Neighbors. That's kind of like why I've been drafting Puka Nacua over Neighbors, is because I could put him with Stafford rather than you don't like who are you going to take with your with Neighbors. Like I just you take Russell Wilson, who's going to be benched by October, or do you take Jackson Dart, who's not going to play till November?
Yeah, I don't want that.
Yeah.
If you did go running back here, like let's say you started with Jonathan Taylor at 111, and then you went, and then you go with, let's say Josh Jacobs at 2-2, which is early, but or Kyron Williams, like if you go early, okay, or if you love Achane, whatever, okay, or if one of the other guys drop, or let's say you go McCaffrey, whatever, okay. So then if you scroll, then if you go, okay, in the third spot, your first receiver would be in Jigma, okay. And then in 4-2, I got to go receiver there as well. So I go DJ Moore at 5'11". We went Sutton. If I had to redo it, I probably go Zay Flowers or Juwan Jennings there. And then instead of Aaron Jones, I go Juwan Jennings or Zay Flowers. So then my receivers are Smith and Jigba, DJ Moore, Zay Flowers, Juwan Jennings. That's a pretty fearsome foursome there, right? I like those guys.
Do you like that better than what we did?
I wouldn't say better, but I think there's some utility to that. Like I think, no, these receivers are better for sure. But I wonder if I'm better off at running back here. Isaiah Pacheco is the wild card on this spot. Like I think he's a major wild card in the draft as a whole. Like if Isaiah Pacheco is fully back to the 2023 version of himself, then he really should be a 3rd or 4th round pick, right?
Absolutely.
So, is he fully healthy? Is the Chiefs' offense going to rebound? I think he's a major wild card, which kind of changes, which is why we've been drafting him so much.
Yeah, I mean, look, if he busts, like it's not that big a deal. It's 7th or 8th round. They usually get him like mid 8th. I just feel like he's going way too late. Like you said, like he goes probably round 4, round 5. If he's healthy, and I think he is. Like I don't see why he would be injured like he was when he came back last year after he got hurt. But after having like a full off season to heal, like I don't see why he wouldn't be back to 100%.
Yeah.
And plus, like they lost Joe Thuney, but they did sign, or they added 2 new offensive linemen tackles, so they could be helped there. But yeah, otherwise, I do like this team, but like I said, everyone loves their team, but I do think this is a good one. I think I like our correlation. I like some of the values we took. We have great upside guys here. These 3 running backs, I think one of them could win us our league. Like if McCaffrey or Bijan goes down, or if Bigsby emerges as the starter, as we think he will, then like you're gonna get like such great production from them in the double-digit rounds. So I always like advocate like draft like at least 3 running backs in between rounds 11 and 15, because you might get a league winner here. Like I think that this is, like I said, in the first rounds you can't win your league. Like this is where you win your league. So just try different combinations and stuff. And I've been taking Garendo more than any other player except for Higbee. So I just love his potential. So
Bigsby is one of my highest owned guys in all of my drafts, Mr. Cartavius, because I just think he's the best running back on that team.
Yeah.
The other guy that I've been drafting a lot in the last round or two is Keaton Mitchell from the Ravens. I know technically he's 3rd on the depth chart, but he's an electric player. Even with Henry staying healthy, I think Mitchell could get some play. He's a big play potential guy, and if Henry would go down, he's a way better talent. Mitchell's a better talent than Hill. I would imagine that Mitchell gets much more. If Henry would go down, I could see him getting a ton of carries.
I like him more in best ball. He's so explosive, and like he can go the distance anytime he touches the ball. So he could be one of those guys. Like even if he doesn't start, if it's Justice Hill starting, like he could be like the MBS of running backs. He could have like 3 or 4 games. I know that sounds bad, but like he have like 3 or 4 games where he goes to 20+ points just because he breaks a long one. I think that's definitely a good pick. I've taken Keaton Mitchell a little bit. I think you probably have a higher percentage than me, but I have taken him in a few drafts. So I like that call for sure. Do you usually wait on tight ends? Kenny and I famously, like, we do a league together, and we've done this league together since what, 05 or 04. We usually have like a race to see who drafts tight end last. Like, it's almost like a game of chicken. Like, we'll be like round 12 or round 13. Neither of us is a tight end. It's like, oh, who's gonna take a tight end first? So I wait on. Do you want to expound on that a little?
No, I agree. I just if you can get a great tight end at a decent price, then it's worth it, sure. Yeah. But usually they're overdrafted, and the tight end position is just it's so inconsistent, and the pretty much dating back to like 1999. If you look at the fourth best tight end every year, and you look at the 13th best tight end every year, like the difference is minuscule on average. Like, it's just so. Taking a guy in round, the guys that are usually available in round 7, 8, and 9 in a standard draft, typical draft, is not much better than the guys available in 14 or 15. Like, they're just as inconsistent or sporadic. So it's not usually worth it. I think this year in best ball, I don't see a lot of value. The one guy there's two guys that feel like they're going a little bit later than they ought to. Mark Andrews going in the 9th. It feels like there's some value there. Mm-hmm. And then Goddard in the 11th, most his ADP I think is 131 or something like that.
Yeah, he went 11-12 here.
Yeah. So I mean, that's that feels like decent value. I've actually been getting Njoku's been falling to me quite a bit. I don't love Njoku as a player, but I don't think to me, it doesn't make sense to go beyond. Like, where do we get our first tight end here? What round was that?
We got our first tight end in round 16, Dalton
Schultz.
There we go. we definitely lived up to our tight end hatred. Although we took 3 at least, we didn't take 1 like this guy. You're right. Andrews at 9 in the 9th round. It feels great. I've said this before. I just want to repeat it. Like, he's someone who I feel like could have a great bounce back year, because think about it. Like, last year he entered the season with an injury. He wasn't 100%. The second half of the year he started to pick things up. And then his final game of the year, that Buffalo game, he screwed up 3 times. He fumbled twice and had like that drop, that 2-point conversion. Like, he's waking up every morning just like thinking about that game. He had the worst game of his career. Someone as talented as him, I feel like he's going to put in so much work this offseason and come back strong. So I like him a lot. Round 9 seems like a great value for him.
Yeah. So I think there's going to be some exceptions there. Just for me, anytime I go to pick, there's always a better value in my mind. It's just rare. So, if like last year, I remember going into the drafts into typical standard drafts saying, if Kittle was available in round 6, I would have taken him, but he almost always went either like in the 5th or early 6th, and so I missed out on him in every. Like, I didn't have him. I think that was the only guy, and then I just drafted Goddard, or I don't know who my other tight ends were. Just drafted guys late.
Yeah, same. And like usually, like you're saying that like there's usually like one elite stud tight end that like you can take, like Brock Bowers here. Like, I've taken him in the 2nd round sometimes just because he's so unique and like what he's going to do for your team. Like in the past, you had Tony Gonzalez when we first started playing fantasy. Like, he was the premier tight end, and that was Gronk, and then you had Travis Kelce, and now you have Bowers. Like, usually like one of those guys. I don't mind taking them.
Jimmy Graham.
Yeah, like I don't mind taking them if like all the elite guys are gone. And like I said, I have taken Bowers in like mid to late 2nd round sometimes. Never early 2nd round, but mid to late 2nd round. But otherwise, I just wait on tight ends. So, to answer your question, Brian says I like Evan Ingram's value this season a lot. I know you don't like Ingram usually, but has your opinion changed now that he's in Denver?
What's his ADP right now?
Ingram went, I don't know what his overall ADP is, but he went here 10:07.
Yeah, there's almost always something better in the 10th round. Like,
yeah, I agree. I'd rather have one of the quarterbacks or Jordan Mason as a sleeper. If you don't like Bigsby, there's Tootin. but this is like usually where I take a quarterback. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't love it. I don't mind. I've taken him like 1 or 2 leagues. Like if he's falling to like around 11 usually. I don't usually don't take him around 10. Mike says, I just got here. I'm not sure how these crowns work. Yeah, we had this discussion about the crowns earlier. I didn't know about it because we use StreamYard to broadcast, because StreamYard broadcasts to YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Twitch all at the same time. So we just use this. So I'm not like following you guys on Twitter, but you guys are saying there's something called crowns. I genuinely like intrigued by what this is because I haven't seen it. Sanders had a crown, but after he did a super chat, they took his crown away. Did that really happen? Wow. I guess they are discouraging super chats, huh? You got to have these crowns apparently. That's ridiculous. But we do thank John Sanders for the super chat. Thank you so much,
man, John.
Absolutely. I guess that's it for the show. Like I said, and maybe we go for a second draft on a normal night, but my kids are sick, so my daughter has started making noises again. So unless like I'll get her if she starts standing up and like starts really shouting, but like I feel like she might go back to sleep at this point. So we'll see. Hopefully that's the case because they both had 102-degree fevers last night, and she did as well earlier this evening. It felt like she got better right before bed, so I was holding out hope that they would sleep all night. My son definitely got better. It looked like he was definitely better, but I think my daughter was a little sketchier. So hopefully she sleeps the rest of the night. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching and commenting. Really appreciate it. Thanks especially to John Sanders for the 411 super chat. Thank you so much, John. You say like YouTube ads pay nothing, so this helps out so much. It's like 5x what we normally get here on the live broadcast. So thank you so much, John. And yeah, last thing, make sure you check out thecapisfake.com. Kenny, you have some new articles you posted last week, so definitely check those out. So especially the Derek Carr one, I thought that was really interesting.
Side note: Roger Goodell did say this week at the owners' meetings that at the next CBA they're going to look. He said he's like one of the things we're going to focus on the CBA is the integrity of the salary cap system and whether or not that's still working. I don't know if you heard when he said that.
I did not. Yeah.
So very interesting. The Pro Football Talk ran an article about it, and there's some other outlets that have basically mentioned. There's basically rumors that Roger Goodell does not like the circumventing of the cap by teams like the Saints and Eagles and others, and wants to kind of clamp down a bit on how the salary cap starts. So, and it's mostly because people are starting to realize the cap is fake. Literally, I think when you got guys like Joe Burrow, publicly saying, hey, why can the Eagles do this? Why can the Saints do this? Why can't we? Like it in essence shines a light on the cheap owners. And I bet some of those owners have started to say stuff.
I think you're right. So the NFL is not going to get the Eagles with the tush push, but they are going to get them with the cap manipulation. So they got hit one way. They didn't get hit one way, but they got hit the other way. So if
they do change the cap structure, my entire website becomes obsolete. So I don't know. On one end, I'll be vindicated because I'm like, listen, I told you guys it's been fake. They had to change it to actually make it real. On the other end, my website goes away, I guess. I don't know. Now I'll just keep doing fantasy football content, I guess.
You should change it to capisreal.com. Cap is not fake. So one or the other, buy that domain, buy both domains, just in case.
The cap is real all of a sudden.
The cap is real now.
There'll be new loopholes, and then I'll get the cap is fake again.com.
Right. The cap was fake, but now it's real.com. Very catchy. I'm sure that people are going to visit that all the time. All right. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching once again. Please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video, visit the link in the description for the merch store. We'll be back tomorrow. Evan Daniel was supposed to be on yesterday. He agreed to come on tomorrow instead. So he's going to come on. He said that, thank you, Mike. He said that he found 10 spreads in week 1 that were way off. So I am eagerly awaiting to see who that is. Also, he did his own power rankings, and he said he was surprised who his 32nd team was once he did all the research and stuff. So I'm intrigued to see who he has 32nd as well. So we'll be back tomorrow, and then Saturday. Tom's not going to be on this Saturday. He has a work event, unfortunately, so we might be going solo on Saturday. But otherwise, yeah, otherwise we're gonna be on Thursday, Saturday. Obviously, if my kids are take a turn for the worse, then we won't be live those days. But I will let you know if the things change. But hopefully they get better. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great night, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
You the man, Walt.
You the man.